Hey everyone, I want to show you the two things that have been the biggest constraints in our system and how we're overcoming them now. One is the actual marketing process, which, by the way, everything is AI generated. And at this point, what that means is we can create how we contact each prospect independently, very personably. And then when we turn around after that and they reply, then we can actually create the reply to continue the conversation based on what was sent originally and how they responded. And what was sent originally was based on actually researching the company, seeing if they're in the news, seeing what their latest kudos are, or just paying attention to their geography. For instance, a roofer in a region that's been struck by a hurricane recently, right? Is going to be busier than usual, but they're going to have a lot of tire kickers, a lot of guys calling, begging for free roof fixes when they can't afford it, things like that. And so there are a lot of situations that can cause us to immediately have a reason to contact them with an angle by talking about how we can help them with their angle, whether we're doing it with the dedicated employee team concept for each of their key employees so that their employees can work a lot faster, or if we're using customer support, AI answers the phone first. AI generates invoices and estimates, things like that, right? And updating files, creating PDFs, whatever it is, setting appointments, doing deep research, doing lookups. Like for a lawyer, an AI paralegal can research a bunch of things and send him a report super fast so he knows the best way to attack the case to benefit his clients, right? And so anyway, I got two angles going for the website that we put up recently, rocketyourBizAI.com, and I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But let me just say this. We've been running Funnel A since Friday, which is like the weekend, so what good is that, right? And then we just started Funnel B yesterday, literally. Okay, so let me just show you how this goes. This is original send, and then this is the reply agent, which is set up separately because it needs to consider what's happening in a different way than the initial send. So then the same thing goes for Funnel B. It's got an approach, and then based on the reaction, there is a Funnel B reply agent. So having said that, let me just step in and kind of walk through what that means, okay? And I think I'm going to have to pan some of this out and fade so that, YouTube doesn't ding the video for showing actual personal information. All right, so check this out. Here's what I really want to say. We sent almost 3,000 emails, of which we got about 30 replies, which is a percent in replies. And this is over the weekend. We're probably going to have more trickle in, because it's still just Tuesday. But anyway, that's 10 opportunities. Now, why $2,000 is the idea of the opportunity amount? I tried to actually list this from the point of view of somebody who's involved, where what is this turning into for the subscription amounts that people can assume that they'll get from an average subscriber. Now, that number's got to be adjusted as people actually are signing up and buying in, which they're not doing yet, but we are so close right now. I've just finished the entire site literally last night. Went to bed at 3 a.m. this morning. And it's done. I mean, I haven't even shown it yet. I will very soon. But I just wanted to say, to get a reply of 1%, of which 1 in 3 are interested, there are opportunities. They're showing up front. Yeah, I'd like to see a demo on that. Or yeah, what do I need to know about that? Or what have you got? Or how does that apply to this? Whatever it is they're saying, right, in their reply. So that is cool. 1 in 3, it's not get lost. It's not we don't want to hear about it. It's 1 in 3 are saying, yeah, show me what you got. That's cool. Now, all we have to do is improve upon this. And that'll raise the percentage of opportunities based on the reply. So those are the two things. One, come up with even better, more killer styles of approach, which just takes some practice, right? You send off different ideas, kind of watch how people react, and then improve the percent of opportunities. Now, let me show you what that's like. Okay, the amount of effort that's gone into understanding how we present this. This is a company. This is a quick business description about what the company does for you, what it does, right? And then these are the separate business offers, of which 2 apply to business, which is what we do when we email through here. It's business to business. It's not to people. It's to businesses. Well, anyway, before we kind of mixed and matched two of these into a single campaign, then we realized that was a mistake and we split them out, funnel A, funnel B, instead of just kind of do both and cycle through them. So by splitting them into two separate funnels, now we can watch the performance of each funnel independently much more clearly, and the replies will be much more clear because it won't befuddle the points by thinking, well, which offer is the guy talking about? Okay, so having said that, what are the profiles of people we're trying to reach out to? We've defined that like small to mid-sized, non-tech, non-digital, local business owners and entrepreneurs seeking, increased market reach and visibility in U.S. metropolitan areas. And then we've got another one, non-tech, non-digital team leaders seeking to enhance employee productivity with assistance, So these are actually the two different angles. And frankly, it depends on what we're on. This is the employee engine. And then the other, they both kind of fit, actually, which is why they're both on here. But check it out. In this case, what are the problems that we're solving? Difficulty in establishing dominant local market presence due to competition saturation. So you have to get this company to be able to perform more efficiently so they can lower their costs, so they can be more competitive, so they take more of the sales away from their competitors, tipping the seesaw in their favor and away, therefore, from their competitors. The more of the total sales that they can grab, that means the fewer sales that the competitor gets, so it's a double whammy. Every time they go up a sale, that's a sale lost to a competitor. So they go down a sale. Do you get what I mean? So if you go up 10 sales, you go down 10 sales, in the competitor market. So you're really helping them figure out how to establish themselves stronger, all right? Challenges in locking out competitors within a specific metro area, limited access to AI-powered marketing assets tailored for local exclusivity. Now, this is written for AI to comprehend. It's not what we're saying in words, but we're explaining this so AI understands the kind of customer profile that we're looking for when we're looking for leads in the first place. Okay? Now, benefits. What are we after? Helping them do. And these are ideas. Okay? Unique selling proposition. Customer goals. See how all of this is handwritten in and figured out. Success stories, concepts of it. Company sizes, industries, job titles, who to exclude, location, all of this is figured out. So far, just the US, but we're going to keep expanding soon. Now, guidance. Guidance is awesome. Guidance is when we want to write these simple little upfront emails that go, hey, regarding whatever. Hey, man, we saw you're doing this differently, or we saw that there was a hurricane in your area, or you guys are doing super good with your new program. We saw it in the news. Congratulations. Incidentally, here's something, if you're having problems with this, what about that? Or have you considered this? Or have any interest in checking into this? Now, just to get it to write some stupid little upfront text-based email, no details, no company link, no phone number, no images, no videos, because all that is spammy in a first contact, right? You want to send your first contact some stupid little, can you reply? Are you interested at all? Do you want any more information? So then for those guys who say, yeah, sure, tell me more. Now you can open the floodgates. You can give them images, videos, link, phone number. Of course, you don't flood them. But what you do is you have a series of emails dripping on them, right? The moment they say, sure, tell me more, that reply, the system out there, the emailing system sees that not only did you send off, but whoever replied, they're the people you're reacting to. And the other people you're not reacting to unless they show some interest. You're doing it very rarely, like once a month, okay? So you don't tag people too often on a first email. But on replies, they have given you permission. It's called permission-based marketing, right? The moment they say, tell me more, you can go at it more. Okay, so tone and voice, the primary rule. How do you do it? Casual, conversational, and direct. Sound like a knowledgeable, friendly person in their 20s to 30s, not a salesperson, etc. Email structure. How long should it be? How do you open it? What's with the body? What do you do for a CTA? Do you include an opt-out? Yeah. Just, hey, if this isn't for you, no problem. Just let me know. And signature. You're always saying, let me know anyway. And if they respond going, yeah, sorry, not interested, our system knows not to contact them back anymore, except to say, okay, no problem. If we want that, which we don't even, because they don't even. So literally we are responding only to the right guys. Okay. How's the subject line strategy work? How many words? What should it reference? It shouldn't just be something that looks catch-all. It shouldn't be increase your market saturation, because you could say that to every company in America. I mean, duh. So that doesn't work. You've got to make it about their company, their brand, or at least their location or their situation in a very particular way. Like companies hit by flood prospects, something like that. Personalization and relevance, hook style, okay, core positioning, all right, how we position our offer, okay, clear value, no vague claims, okay. Here's the benefits. We do this for you or that for you or that for you or that for you, something like that. AI can pick and choose based on what it thinks of the company research about that company, okay. Match the situation to their reality so that we're not mixing them. We're not saying, hey, you're busy, so do you want to increase your market saturation? The answer is no, they already got too many leads. They're busy. Their problem is tire kickers. Their problem is trying to sort through the mess. Their problem is trying to work with all these guys at once. So our employee teams can help them do that, can help them work with 5, 8, 10 guys at the same time, super fast, super easily, perfectly organized, right? They don't want to hear about market increase or more leads. They don't want more leads. They want to organize the work that's coming in already because it's a mess, right? Core positioning, trust and ease. Do you see this? All of this is just to generate the short subject line that hits home and a short body that first congratulates them on them or mentions their pain point or whatever's going on with them, and then makes a sensible offer that relates to that, and then ask them if they want to hear more, let us know. And if they don't, no problem. They can let us know. And then we sign off, right? That's it. So that's what all of that guidance is for. That little tiny thing. Ain't that crazy? And so with that in mind, we can send these off. So now you've got the one funnel and the other. Funnel B, like I said, we just started. So right now it's only at about 0.5% of replies. Okay, a little more. And one opportunity, 1 in 4. Well, we got 1 in 3 in the other one, but we did go through an evolution upgrade when we were watching the first responses and seeing what to do to improve for the second. In this case, we just have to go through that evolution as well, right? And so we'll figure that out. This is awesome. So then for the replies, just so you get the idea, replies determine who's interested and who isn't, doesn't reply to the guys who aren't, replies to the guys who are in the right kind of way. And again, there's guidance. And there's, for the guidance, there's all these rules. How it handles the reply, okay? How long it's supposed to be. What the subject line's supposed to do at this point. Context and clarification. We've got personalization and relevance stuff. We've got the call to action information, what they should do, how the reply strategy should work in response to prospects. 1, acknowledge your message to show understanding. 2, identify key details like business, pain points, interests, timeline. 3, suggest 1 to 2 tailored solutions don't just give them this long bullet list, right? 4, justify why each solution suits their needs. So we're giving them 1 to 2 tailored solutions and justifying them. So it sounds like we're thinking about them very directly because we started from their pain point or their interesting bit of news or whatever. Then we offer a clear next step, like a call or a website visit or a demo, right? Which is all based on AI. Getting them to the website or having them make the call doesn't come to me, it goes to AI. AI very clearly answers them and has a very good conversation with them on the phone. I'm going to be putting the demo videos up pretty soon in a different video or demo phones up, and you can actually call in and role play. You'll understand what's happening there. It's insane. Handover and escalation, rules for that, like what it's supposed to do based on lead quality and rejection. Okay, just all this stuff, other guidance, right? The overview of how we present ourselves, core value proposition, and then an example email, just to make the point, right? So that our reply agents understand how they're supposed to act. All right? Well, there you go. What I want to say is this. Any one of these guys who gets on board, okay, they can pick up one or more assets. There's two main offers that would apply to them, and then a third if they're hobbyists and they want to do something personally that's not related to their business, which would be the same thing as all the non-company guys out there who are entrepreneurs at home who've got like an Amazon store, they do drop shipping, or they want to get into an MLM program, and they want a bunch of referral websites or affiliate websites that aren't just websites anymore. They are 100% self-controlled businesses that run to be competitive. They do research against the competitors. They constantly update themselves with the goal of beating the competitors, of first catching up and then overtaking, okay? And it is so cheap that it's the equivalent manpower of 8 people working at one time with their own job, like 8 guys with their own specializations, their own jobs at a company. Doing their part to make the company great, it would be like 8 people. And, a live chat agent, a customer service rep, a designer, the guy who does all the emailing and interaction, the guy who sets the appointments, the guy who goes through all the company literature and figures out how better to present themselves and updates those points for everyone else to understand at once. It's literally 8 guys all wrapped together. The guy who does the core research on the competitors and constantly feeds back what else needs to be done at the company better. It's insane, but it's true. And these are 8 guys working 3 shifts, around the clock, 24/7. So it's really like 24 guys. But if you think that every guy has a stand-in for when somebody wants to take a coffee break or go to the restroom or gets a sick day, then you could say it's 48 guys. Except that you also have a weekend crew, which is 8 times 3 shifts, so it's 24 guys again, the weekend guys who would normally get paid time and a half or double time for only working weekends. And they would have to have their stand-ins too. So, you're talking about almost the equivalent of 100 people that are always at the ready, sitting on their seat in case they're needed. But how much does it cost? Well, if you think one good guy costs somewhere between 60 and 80 bucks an hour, and then whatever else you have to pay to support them at the workplace, now you got to give them coffee. You probably provide the company coffee and the chair and the computer and keep the temperature comfortable in the room. The lights on, the phone's running, whatever. And then you got to pay payroll taxes and everything. It would be like $100 for an hour, right? That a company's paying really per person. Some level of fringe benefits or insurance or God knows what. So if you think you've got 100 guys that you'd be paying like $100 an hour, that's $10,000 an hour. If you really were to run a business at that level. Well, guess how much this costs? And this has got a higher IQ, and these guys are seriously determined. They're not slackers. Okay, this is the equivalent of $75 a month per asset to the company. Okay, that is less than 1 hour for a good guy. That's like 3/4 of the pay you would give for 1 hour for a good guy at your company who can do something right and is smart and dedicated, loyal and serious about the company's goals a month. That's so insane that companies want to grab these up. They want 10 of them. They want 100 of them. They want to saturate the region with them. They want all these guys filling in the gaps, saturating their location so that all roads lead to Rome. All these referral websites going, hey, you're looking for this? They're the man. Click here or call us and we'll talk you through it, and then have someone come out and check it out. Whatever it is. And all these are businesses that are 100% run by AI. The people who answer the phone, AI. The people who send the emails, AI. The people who figure out the estimates and the invoices, AI. Only thing AI cannot do yet is send a tech to your house to evaluate your roof or to fix your plumbing. I mean, that's robots. Give it another year. By having said that, and that's for those of you guys keeping up with Hyundai using Boston Dynamics, figuring out fingers finally, how to operate fingers incredibly dexterously. I mean, we already got the legs down, had to get the fingers down. Now we've got it. And now we've got them handling with strength. So we can put them on the auto detailing lines and stuff. And that's what Hyundai needed the Boston Dynamics computers for. They were great, but they couldn't figure out fingers because they're so hard. Hyundai has solenoids, lots and lots and lots of different kinds that are super sensitive for their higher line cars. And they realized that was a missing piece. Boston Dynamics got everything right with the robot except for finger control. This kind of proper dexterity and pressure sensitivity, ability to grip without crushing, ability to hold a water balloon without dropping it, and being able to pick up parts and weld and stuff on their assembly lines, right? So believe it or not, the robots are coming. Not just the robots for techs, but real robots. Anyway, having said all that, my point is this. We are on the cutting edge right now. And the next step for all of our process, actually, and I'll get to that later. Actually, I'm going to save it. It's a surprise. Just keep watching the next videos. The next one's pretty cool. All right. I just want to say this. For all you guys who are in, for all you guys who are position owners, we are finally reaching out and contacting companies who are showing interest. And we have some killer ways that we've been inventing in real time. Like even between last night and this morning, a new idea emerged because we tested it and it works. And we can start responding in a way that will hook them so hard they really want in. So first, they want in anyway for a couple of subscriptions that they can raise this one, they can raise that one easily. Anytime they're ready for more. They can raise the market saturation concept, that is the AI businesses, but they can also get the dedicated employee teams for each of their key employees. And if they do it with one or two key employees and see how much better it makes their operations, which it will, they'll be able to work like 20 times as fast with half of the physical effort, mental exertion. They get to oversee. They get to feel like managers, even though they're just employees doing a job. They get to manage the AI that does, all they have to do is review the results before approving for the company, right? So their job is make sure no garbage in, garbage out scenarios, train the AIs a little better if they're making a mistake. And then that way the results are going to be greater and greater and greater. Their job is to be able to oversee the AI crew. Okay. So if you got a guy in accounting doing that with his AI team, he can do 20 times the accounting. So you don't need more accountants when you get bigger. Finance, same thing. Operations on the floor, guys who are organizing things, workflows and Gantt charts and stuff. Customer service. Tech assistance when a tech calls in from the field with a question about how to do a certain thing right. They're trying to fix a photocopier and they don't have the manual with them and they're like, God, I've never seen this situation. They call back to the office. How do I deal with this situation? Because I'm 20 miles from work and I don't even know if I have the right part in the truck for this weird thing here. And somebody at the office could help them. Now AI is the expert. AI helps them better than the human could because the human's flipping through manuals trying to find a scenario. But AI just goes here, like that, okay? It's insane. But we are on the cutting edge of it, and I'm gonna let this news keep unfolding. Watch the next video. It is cool. All right, talk to you soon.